Hey there, friends of Joe. This is Abby from Pipstones Publishing. I am so excited to show you my new book bundle, Eskimo Joe, A Musical Journey. You will love this wholesome story about a little Inuit boy traveling through Alaska who turns from hunter to hero. Keep watching and you will see the beautiful chalk pastel illustrations by my friend and a famous artist named Robert Sauber. His artistic touch gives life to the landscapes, the characters, and even the aurora borealis. This hardback book helps young readers hear and understand rhyming poetry and uses repetition throughout each section. I even added an activity resource guide that goes with the hardback book. In there you'll find a movement guide so kids can learn to play and move in time, dot to dots like this one, coloring pages, history of Alaska and the Inuit people, and much, much more. Listen, do you hear that music? Drums, snow and ice, Native American flute, character voices, and even narration. What a beautiful added audio. And just so you know, when you hear the Native American flutes in there, that's me playing them. This audio comes as a free download from our website. Just scan the QR code in the back of the book and it's yours. This all-inclusive book bundle, the hardback book, the activity book, and the audio is for general classroom teachers, homeschool parents, great fun for the family, and music teachers. So enjoy the journey with Joe and his newfound friends as he treks through the land of the midnight sun.
There lived an Eskimo named Joe. He loved to hunt and fish and throw his spear and shoot his bow. Joe wanted to explore the land and see what he could find. So he set upon his daring trek a plan he had in mind. The plan was just to catch some fish, Joe thinking all was well, but ended up to be a story I would love to tell. March, march, marchity march, Joe traveling this dangerous toll. March, march, marchity march, looking for a fishing hole. But then he stopped. Joe thought he heard a sound from up ahead. He listened to that sound he heard, and this is what it said.
Pat, pat, patty, pat, help me, Eskimo Joe. Pat, pat, patty, pat, help me, Eskimo Joe.
To his surprise was Walt the Walrus fighting for his life, with Flipper stuck between two chilly water blocks of ice. Joe's plan he thought out in his head, so carefully devised. He tied a rope to larger ice and wrapped his big round sides.
Tug, 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 help me, Eskimo Joe. Tug, 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 help me, Eskimo Joe.
Joe tugged and towed, and finally out popped Walrus Walt. He thanked the boy named Eskimo Joe, and then he had to go. But Walt will always think about that kind boy Eskimo Joe. Joe kept on marching through the snow and icy covered land, till then he came upon a wet and woody spiraled band. But soon he stopped. Joe thought he heard a sound from up ahead. He traveled to that sound he heard, and this is what it said.
Snap, snap, snappity snap, help me, Eskimo Joe. Snap, snap, snappity snap, help me, Eskimo Joe.
To his surprise was Bo the Beaver fighting for his life, with long teeth stuck inside a log, very large in size. Joe's plan he thought out in his head, so carefully devised. devised. He tied a rope to larger logs and wrapped his furry sides.
Tug, 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 tug. Help me, Eskimo Joe. Tug, 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 tug. Help me, Eskimo Joe.
Joe tugged and towed, and finally out popped Beaver Bo. He thanked the boy named Eskimo Joe, and then he had to go. But Bo will always think about that kind boy Eskimo Joe. Marching up and down the muddy banks beside the river bend, and over bridges where his friendly fish had made their watery den. Again he stopped. Joe thought he heard a sound from up ahead. He traveled to that sound he heard, and this is what it said.
Clap, clap, clappity clap. Help me, Eskimo Joe. Clap, clap, clappity clap. Help me, Eskimo Joe.
To his surprise was Sue the salmon, fighting for her life, with tail fins underneath two rocks, very large in size. Joe's plan he thought out in his head, so carefully devised. He tied a rope to larger rocks and wrapped her scaly sides.
Tug, 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 tug. Help me, Eskimo Joe. Tug, 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 tug. Help me, Eskimo Joe.
Joe tugged and towed, and finally out popped Salmon Sue. She thanked the boy named Eskimo Joe, and then he had to go. But Sue will always think about that kind boy Eskimo Joe. Over covered weeds and through the frozen trees he did march, but careful of his every step. Joe kept his bow at ready arch, and then he stopped. Joe thought he heard a sound from up ahead. He traveled to that sound he heard, and this is what it said.
Stop, stop, stompity stomp. Help me, Eskimo Joe. Stomp, stomp, stompity stomp. Help me, Eskimo Joe.
To his surprise was Rob the reindeer, fighting for his life, with horns so tangled in the vines and wound so very tight. Joe's plan he thought out in his head, so carefully devised. He tied a rope to larger vines and wrapped his big tough sides.
Tug, 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 tug. Help me, Eskimo Joe. Tug, 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 tug. Help me, Eskimo Joe.
Joe tugged and towed, and finally out popped Reindeer Rob. He thanked the boy named Eskimo Joe, and then he had to go. But Rob will always think about that kind boy Eskimo Joe. Joe traveled up a hill so high to see the northern lights, to lay and rest his weary self with the breezes of the night. So he found a spot that's perfect for a boy who'd done so much, and he gazed upon the land and shimmer of the brightened touch. Joe pondered on his journey and the things he'd done this day, and wondered if the lights would shine until the end of May.
If you don't already know, I was a music teacher for a very long time. I originally created this story for a Mommy and Me music program, and now it's better than ever, and you are able to get this whole book bundle. Young Joe teaches children to show kindness and love for animals, but also portrays a smart boy in all his determined and rambunctious ways. I hope you enjoy the beautiful packaging, just another added touch by Pipstones. I love y'all and thank you for your support. Enjoy the journey.